as a professional football team, right? The very first thing we do, the very next day after the game is played, the very first thing you do is go and watch the film. And we will take one play and we will watch one play sometimes for 10 minutes. This is a play that takes 4 seconds, right? We watch every guy on the team, what he does, and kind of watch this whole thing. And so for 10 minutes sometimes we watch 4 seconds for 10 minutes so that we can get better.
Okay, Dr. Mike has a good challenge for us back in the kitchen here. Mike and Diane, Eric and Kara. You kind of step back and take a look at the argument after it's over. You know, when you're settled down a bit and like you're up in the balcony of a theater, he says, and looking down and just kind of assessing it without all the emotions involved.
You know, you might think, why would I want to revisit that argument? I'm so glad that's over, that's behind us. But really, as he said, there's a lot we can learn from it. And if we just take the time, doesn't mean we have to take a long time, but just take the time, sit down when, like Ron said, when your emotions are calm, and say, okay, wow. We made it through that. We really did. Let's see, what can we learn so that next time we handle it better?
Yeah, he said, study the past to protect your future.
I like that.
That was great there.
That was
that's
good.
what I love. That's what I love. I've been reading a book, and I'm trying to think of the author's name, but his last name is Franklin, and it's about loving harder. He's a #1 bestseller.
Jensen Franklin?
I think that's it. That's it. But he had a great analogy about ketchup.
I love ketchup.
You know the Heinz ketchup bottle, that they used to have the glass bottle, and he used the analogy about how you have to hit a certain spot on that bottle, and it was always at the 57 to make the ketchup. You used to use the knife to scrape it out and all those things, and until you hit it, and then still it would come out slowly, and then you hit it again. And that analogy I love because it's a process. It's that process of it's just a little bit at a time. You hit it, a little bit. You need some more, you hit it again, a little bit more come out. And that's just what we're talking about here. It's a process, and if we continue with that process, you just get a little bit at a time. And it gets better, and it gets better, and it gets better, right?
That's
so
it.
You learn a little bit more from that last blow up or conflict, and then next time you tweak and adjust, and then next time it's a little bit better.
That's right. So I love that analogy.
We all want to be a better us.
Absolutely.
Like we all want to be a better us.
Yes,
We agree
absolutely.
on that. And so, like you said, it just takes time.
A little bit at a time. Yeah.
I like that.
But I love his analogy on that.
If I could go back to the last segment just for a minute, I just love the idea of putting God into the conversation first. That's such a mature, like when you're in an argument and you're like, God, sit down somewhere, right? Yes.
I need to handle
this. That's right. But just having that process, the maturity, right? So I said the I love blank, right? And the reason we said that I love blank is because when you put your spouse in there, hopefully a lot of that stuff can go away. You don't get to the argument point. But if you do get to the argument, now you insert God into it at the beginning. Man, we got a chance, right? But then even if it kind of goes awry, right? It says, when is the best time to deal with the issue? Now. Now is the best time, unless of course, it's so volatile and it's gonna end up turning into another argument that we have to watch out. But I think Mike has really coached us up well here to say that review it, as that's the very first thing as a professional football team, right? The very first thing we do, the very next day after the game is played, the very first thing you do is go and watch the film. And we will take one play and we will watch one play sometimes for 10 minutes. This is a play that takes 4 seconds, right? We watch every guy on the team, what he does, and kind of watch this whole thing. And so for 10 minutes sometimes, we watch 4 seconds for 10 minutes so that we can get better. So taking that time afterwards to go and review when it's fresh, and we understand the nuances that happened in the conversation and that kind of thing, to go and review, that's our I think it's the healthiest learning season is just as it's happened, right? And because we know the most, it's freshest for us, and we can change that behavior.
And remembering to put God first. I have a girlfriend that had a funny saying. Whenever she would get upset and want to go tell somebody off, she'll say, okay, God, can you just go sit in the corner for a minute? just excuse yourself, God, and go sit in the corner. Let me do this, and then you come back. That's what we don't want to do. We don't want to do that.
Just bring him right in the middle. That's right.
So have you guys ever discovered that you've had that opportunity to kind of reflect back and dissect the argument, or are you still in the process? Because you're still newlyweds.
Well, we have been only married for 3 years, but we can look back to arguments we've had in the past. But usually, when they get brought up, it's because remember when you did this, and so I definitely can see the merit in sitting down calmly and saying, so this is an issue that we had. And let's kind of go through Dr. Mike's 5-step process.
Making baby steps, like you were saying, with the ketchup, slow, where you're going to do it.
Yeah, especially step number, I forget one it is, something, but own what you did. And know that we can justify whatever we did to try to make ourselves feel better, but we got to own what we did and just say, this was me. And even apologize if you can.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Let's be a student of our conflict. Okay.
We'll get better.
Well, don't go away. We'll wrap things up in just a moment.